This call
also
is being recorded.
for those that will be in Columbus or around Columbus or want to come to Columbus on September 11th through the 13th, we'll be having our annual camping trip. You know, we got enough room for between 60 and 100 people. I got enough camping equipment. I get enough people to register in advance. I go out and get some more equipment. But we got enough equipment for about 60 people as it stands right now. So we got a nice little patch of woods up at Alum Creek, and we're gonna gather up together. We're gonna kick it. And we're gonna have a real good time. So for some of y'all, it could be a reunion. For others, you just come out and chill. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be some courses. Of course, I'm gonna be experimenting with these new knives I got for some of the knife throwing. You know, I know that might scare some of y'all, but it's just fun. You know what I'm saying? We got to prepare in all ways. There's gonna be some meditation classes. Hopefully, if Brother Mansour comes, we get some yoga. I don't know about the capoeira. I might do something with capoeira, or hopefully Brother Dentista will be listening and send somebody down to handle the capoeira piece. But we got a whole weekend. We could do a lot of stuff. If somebody got something that they want to share during that weekend, let me know. We'll get it popping off. Also, make sure you check out my other shows. Of course, thank you for tuning in. Those that are listening on Spreaker and those that are on the call, thank you for listening in. Tonight is Folk Tales for Grown Folks. We're using Aesop Fables right now. We're slowly but surely moving through. I think this is about the 100th, and according to this, is about the 153rd time that we're meeting as far as Folk Tales for Grown Folks. Then we have Tribal Quotes. That's on Wednesdays at 10 o'clock. Then we have Freestyle Fridays, which is Fridays at 10 o'clock. And then periodically, because I'm running a little bit more now, you're going to get more of my rants from my On Mile 3s. On Mile 3 is a show that I'm only allowed to do after I run 3 miles. And I've been running 3 miles like it's going out of style. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know if I should be concerned because I'm older or what. But, hey, I'm running and I'm enjoying it. So, hey, welcome. Now, we are doing some wisdom mining. So when you come on the show, do not be shy, because what's been happening is that I've been blessed with a lot of calls. And if you want to speak, you better not be shy. Those of you that are on Spreaker that want to join us, be sure to hit us up on the line at 614-556-4535. And we have been joined. And I see, oh, my God, I think that is Queen Nandy out there.
Yeah.
What's up? How you doing?
Good, how you?
Fine. She's also known as the teacher throughout Detroit, one of Detroit's finest, is joining us tonight for the folk tale, and I'm about to read it, and we're gonna dive deep on this one. We're going deep on this one because there's a lot of lessons on it. You know what I'm saying? So, you ready?
Yep.
All right, here we go. It's called The Monkey and the Fisherman. Oh, that damn monkey. All right, here we go. A monkey perched upon a lofty tree saw some fishermen casting their nets into a river and narrowly watched their proceedings. The fishermen, after a while, gave up fishing, and on going home to dinner left their nets upon the bank. The monkey, who is the most imitative of animals, descended from the treetops and endeavored to do as they had done. Having handled the net, he threw it into the river, but became tangled and then the meshes and drowned. With his last breath, he said to himself, I am rightly served, for what business had I, who had never handled a net, to try to catch fish? Man, oh man, oh man. Hey, but before we get into that, before we break that down, Sister Janice, tell me, give us a report. What's going on in Detroit? Is there anything that people need to know about?
Same old thing. School is about to start, and there is continual governmental attack on teachers and the district of Detroit Public Schools. So it's going to start off a rough one. That's clear.
Right.
Trying to get rid of more people.
So you have a blog since we got this and it's going to be rebroadcast. You got a blog. Can you tell people a little bit about your blog So
I'm actually working to construct a new one. So I'll get you that information as soon as it's finished. But the current blog is The Annihilation of Public Education.
That's some strong words. She said annihilation of public education. All right, so she's going to be writing. She's going to be letting you know. A lot of the stuff is on my timeline now. This one is a new one because you had a blog before this.
Right.
That's the one that I got posted to mine. So that you shut that one down?
Well, I don't know if it's shut down. I just haven't added anything to it in quite a while.
All right, cool. When you switch like this, you let me know so I can make sure
I'll
I keep the people current. All right?
All right.
Now, so we on this monkey. This monkey. Beware who you imitate. That's one of the things I came off. You know what I'm saying? Beware who you imitate. And make sure that you're prepared if you are going to imitate. Of course, for those that don't know, the monkey has shown up in other stories, and he's usually somebody that's really silly or he's always imitating. This monkey, that from what I can see, this monkey is somebody who, because I want you to listen to the wording that they use and narrowly watch their proceedings. The monkey is very studious, right? Like a lot of us. The monkey is very studious. We got another caller. What's up, caller?
How y'all doing?
Fine, who this?
This is Prophet.
What's up, Mr. Avery? Hey, do you want me to read the story again, or you cool?
I'm cool.
All right, cool. So we got this monkey, and this monkey is watching these fishermen. And as he's watching these fishermen, he's seeing what they're doing. He's narrowly watching. Now, I'm kind of caught on that one right now. I don't know whether that's good or bad. So when you narrow down, he's looking at them. It sounds like studiously, but he still is not able to get it right because he goes down and he tries to imitate them he tried to imitate them and ended up dying. You know what I'm saying? So now, one, be careful who you imitate. Two, be careful what you imitate, because even if you study closely, right? Even if you study closely, you could get caught up and die from it. Many of us in our age group, Nandi, know individuals who were imitating the popular people who ended up dying because crack was unforgiving when we was younger. You know what I'm saying? Right. I don't know about the crack right now, but the crack that we had back in the day was very unforgiving. You had people imitating other people, getting on crack, and losing their entire lives. You know what I'm saying? They was like the monkey, narrowly watching people. And we got to be careful of the things that we watch. And also we got to be careful of those people that we imitate. Because just because it's working for them doesn't mean that it necessarily is going to work for us. We got to be mindful. You know what I'm saying? We got to start looking for the proper models to place in our lives, and we got to start instructing our youth on possibly who to watch. You know what I'm saying? So that they can be careful and so that they can grow. You know what I'm saying? In a proper way, because because what I'm seeing in our community or our areas, I refuse to call them communities now, but in our areas, what I'm seeing is I'm seeing individuals that are imitating bad models. You know what I'm saying? That we're imitating the wrong people. We're imitating the wrong things. We're like that monkey in the tree. The monkey has no business fishing. First off, he's not shaped. He's shaped sort of like a man, but he's not all the way shaped like a man where he can stand up straight and throw the net. You know what I'm saying? He don't have the hips like a man so that he can throw the net into the water. He was watching and he was studying very closely, but the thing that he tried to do was not for him. And many of us are doing things that are not for us. And we're not doing them for our benefit. We're doing them because we're scared to try what it is we have been designed to do. You know what I'm saying? Many of us cut ourselves off because we, who is that clicking? Is somebody else on the line? Who else on the line?
Oh, this is J-Rock.
Who? Joe, okay, cool. All right, with that loud phone. Joe, welcome. All right. But hey, the point that I'm trying to make is modeling. Watching who we model. I think for me, that's one of the major messages that's coming off of this. For adults, because a lot of us have picked bad models, and it's almost like it's not our fault because we don't have a lot to choose from. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of it's right up in front of us, so we choose the nearest thing to us, not knowing that there's a bigger world out there. You know what I'm saying? The monkey is looking from a tree. He's watching these fishermen. It look like they're enjoying themselves. Look like they're having a good time. It look like they're being successful and catching food easy. But fishing is not an easy trade. And the monkey thought that he could jump right from the tree and just start doing what they did. And in doing that, his last words, you know what I'm saying? I am rightly served, for what business had I, who had never handled a net, to try and catch fish?
So let me go back a little bit, Hatem.
Yes, ma'am.
Because the monkey's focus was a narrow focus. Narrow is antithetical to broad. And so if I'm narrowly looking at something, I'm not even looking at all that is there.
Ooh.
And so I might think I know what I'm looking at, but if my focus is narrow, I'm not looking at the whole picture. And so I'm missing things, but my focus is so narrow, I don't even realize I'm missing things. And so when you talk about children imitating adults, the adults really have a great deal of responsibility to know that kids are looking at you. And because they're kids, they're not seeing all that's there. Their focus is narrow. And so much of what you do and say and think around young people should be very, very modulated, because young people are looking. And they're looking because all they do is imitate.
Wow.
I actually disagree with that, especially as a 17-year-old going into adulthood. Like, I swear, I do not know how many times I've actually said, I cannot wait to be 18. I can't wait to be 18. Now I don't want to be 18 because of the fact that, I know that they're going to start hitting me with taxes, bills, house rent. It's going to be terrible. It's like, wow. And so, basically, as a kid, I've always noticed that I've seen the benefits, but I've never really seen, the consequences that came with the benefits.
Man. Oh, my God. Wait, hold on. Because I'm about to close down my speaker station right now, because we're about to get into the conversation. So those of you that are listening on speaker, I'm about to cut this off. You got to call in at 614-556-4535 to continue the conversation. Sister Janice and Brother Abel X just dropped a bomb on Brother Hatem. This is about to go. We're about to go deep. So, hey, I hope y'all catch it. All right, peace. All right, so now let's keep this conversation going. All right, so Sister Ross, Miss Dark and So Lovely.
Yes.
Did you hear the story, or do you need me to read it again?
I need you to read it one more time. I apologize.
All right, cool. The Monkey and the Fisherman. A monkey perched upon a lofty tree saw some fishermen casting their nets into a river and narrowly watched their proceedings. The fishermen, after a while, gave up fishing and on going home to dinner, left their nets upon the bank. The monkey, who is the most imitative of animals, descended from the treetop and endeavored to do as they had done. Having handled the net, he threw it into the river, but became tangled in the meshes and drowned. With his last breath, he said to himself, I am rightly served, for what business had I, who had never handled a net, to try to catch a fish? Boy, these folk tales aren't just for kids.
No, they're not.
I'm listen, because I like that narrow focus, because you don't see everything. That's dope. But you know what's crazy? The ape was imitating man. So when we look at one of the images in ancient Kemet, or those who don't know ancient Egypt, Ptah was an ape. And they said because he imitated God. So the ape imitated God. And then we are, in a sense, imitating. So our whole lives are based on imitation. You know what I'm saying? Even wisdom imitates something. You know what I'm saying? But the warning that this proverb is giving us is be careful who we imitated, and to, as y'all both attested to, make sure you broaden who you're looking at,
right,
so that you can see the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? So that you don't end up like Mr. Monkey, sinking to the bottom of the wrapped up in that habit, wrapped up in all those responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? Because hey, Prophet, I salute you, man. Because I wish I'd have known. I would have stayed. I would have stayed young as long as I could. I was in a hurry to get out too. Take your time. Take your time. Anybody else?
I mean,
oh man,
also like something else to get from this story as well, though.
Go ahead. I mean, whatever angle, man, it's your show. Come on.
I mean, at the same time, as I'm looking like more closely into the story itself, it's like basically saying like the monkey's last word specifically was, and I quote, "I am rightly served. For what business had I, who have never handled a net, to try and catch the fish?" Now, as I think about it, those men were trained. They actually had someone, or they maybe not, but like basically like they knew exactly what they were doing when they were doing it. That's like basically like
right.
jumping in out of nowhere. Like, what's a good example? Every single candidate that's running for the United States right now, you just jumping in out of nowhere because you think that you got money that you can actually run the country. But there are also some people who really don't know exactly what it takes to run this country and like what it takes to maintain the country. It's just like you literally just jumping in, you don't know what's going on, and at the end of the day, you end up screwing yourself over twice.
I agree. I agree. I don't think the monkey's problem was that he tried it. I think the monkey's problem is that he felt like just seeing it was enough, that he didn't realize that there's some skill some skills that go into that he would need to be taught. So I don't think that like those last closing words, it's kind of like, yes, you could have caught a fish had you been trained, right? It looks easy, but actually there's skill that goes into it. And I'm just going to make this personal for me. I've always wanted to be a teacher. Like, since before I even started school, I wanted to be a teacher. And then when I was teaching, it came very easy for me. But when I got my classroom, that's when the challenges came, because I didn't realize that those full-time, I kind of knew, but I didn't know, what happened with all the planning and all the grading and all of these things. So I just thought that I was going to jump in and be this awesome, spectacular teacher because I could implement lesson plans and I could be a great substitute teacher. But when it came down to all the things that were behind it, I had to learn those things, right? The skills that would make me successful. So I guess it's just saying that, like, all that glitters not gold. I don't know. Things take practice. Sometimes it looks a lot easier than what it actually is. So I think those last words, when I hear those last words, it's like, well, you could have caught a fish if you had proper training. But for you just to think that you've seen it and it looks easy, that wasn't the case. And I think that we, like you said, these folk tales are not just for children. I think that's something to keep in mind. Sometimes we're wanting to do what other people do or wanting their job, and we don't even know what really goes into that job. We just see the product. We don't see the work that actually went into producing the product.
That's right. I mean, a lot of us, to be honest with you. Go ahead.
there's also like the arrogance that he actually like had while like jumping in. I forgot to mention that earlier. Like just like his pure bold arrogance. Like he thought that he could actually like do it. He thought that he was gonna be able to like succeed just like them. Like, all right, they got this. Why can't I get this?
So the monkey, like many of us, jumped into something and like Miss Sarah Soleil was talking about, thinking that it's easy. It should just come natural for me. I don't even have to practice. All I gotta do is merely watch, right? Yeah, all I gotta do is merely watch, jump down, and be able to get involved, and it's just gonna happen for me.
Yeah, we don't know the process.
Sound familiar?
Yeah, we don't know. We may not know the process. We may not be familiar with the process. But when we see the product, it looks easy. It looks like, why does it take so much time to do that? Oh, I could do that with my eyes closed. Like I said, I can teach. I can implement a lesson, but when it comes to having to grade all the papers, having to do all the lesson plans, having to do all the technical stuff that goes along with it, now I'm drowning. I'm not the teacher I thought I was. You know what I mean? But I realize there's a process. There's a process that I wasn't fully aware of because I wasn't required to do that in that profession, But I am looking at teachers like, what are you crying about? What are you moaning about? You know what I mean? Like, why do you hate your job so, or why are you so overwhelmed? I'm thinking this is easy. I could teach with my eyes closed. But it's that part, the instruction part that I can do well. It's all the other management part that I'm not seeing that the teacher has to go through, and so that definitely has been an eye-opening, and I'm just making it personal for me. When you read it, this is what I'm thinking of myself, myself, how, like you said, being arrogant and feeling like, this is nothing, but then learning that this takes process, this takes skill.
But I don't think in the beginning it's arrogance. Again, going full circle, I think it's a lack of understanding of what you're really looking at. Your analogy about teaching is dead on because every grown-up thinks they can walk into a classroom of kids and begin to teach, but they don't know what that means when they're not in the trenches every single day. They don't know anything. They think they know, but they don't.
I don't think that every grown-up, when I tell people I teach, the overwhelming response is, God bless you, that's something I couldn't do. And so where I have those, Hatim doesn't like to call it this, but where I have those natural gifts that allow me to, my experiences allow me to connect with kids, my teaching style allows me to hook them and things of that sort, but it was all the other things that teachers are required to do. If teaching was only about teaching and delivering instruction, I'd be top of the class. But when it's about grading and being organized and lesson plans and this and meetings and that's where, but
that's what she's talking about.
That's my point. That's all a part of teaching. And if you don't know what you're looking at, you think teaching is simply talking to some kids. And there are trillions of other things that come under the title teacher that people who are not teachers are narrowly looking at what we do, and they don't know what they're looking at.
Correct. The only part that I'm disagreeing with is, like I said, most times when I'm discussing my profession, people oh, God bless you, I couldn't do that. I couldn't work with kids.
I think that God bless you, I couldn't do that comes from a great deal of contempt for young people. There are a lot of older people that just don't get young people. And so when they say things like God bless you, I don't believe at all that's because they understand all that the profession is about. That's about them understanding what it must be like to deal with kids in 2015.
And some of it comes from not knowing that you're not patient, right? Knowing that your work hours are long and extended. Knowing that, like you said, that you do have to deal with the behaviors as well as the parents. I think it's a wide range of things, just not the kid. I mean, the kids in 2015 is a great part, but I think a lot of it comes from just knowing that you're not a patient person, right? Knowing that it's not even being the kids in 2015, just knowing some people know that they don't work well with kids. Like, I don't work well with little kids. I'm not going in anybody's school teaching elementary kids because I know I don't have the patience. I know.
Man, hey, so, oh my God, yeah, hey, so not knowing what we're looking at. See now, so possibly, well, I'm gonna say part of the issue that I'm seeing even in our community, when it comes to really us managing communities or areas. You know what I'm saying? Are we looking at it the same way the monkey is? I mean, as far as the problems in our community or in our area, are we looking at it the same way the monkey is? Looking at it narrowly, not really knowing what we're looking at.
I got something to say about that, actually. As a young man growing up in 2015, especially in 2015, I cannot tell you how many people in my generation are always like trying to glorify like the violence as well as like this gang stuff, and like how many people, like whenever I tell them like I was born in Chicago, they be like, Chief Keef, oh man, I like Chief Keef, yeah, bullcrap. I'm like, like that's nothing to like really play around with. Like they say that like, oh man, I'm making this stuff, but it's like y'all all looking into something that's really not for you. I mean, you glorify it because right now that's exactly what's in your face. You seeing other people doing it, you thinking that's all cool. You see that like gets them, I guess you could say, consolation prizes. But at the end of the day, that's your life you're messing with, especially in this community right here. That is your life. Most people don't understand. Like, the thing I like about this story is the fact that, like, it can especially relate to every single young person here today because, like, they all want a life that they really can't have. Or, like, they all think that they want this life that they really don't want to.
Everybody, by narrowly looking at the life, by narrowly looking at what someone is like a chief or somebody that's really involved in the hustle and bustle of the street, by narrowly looking at it, it's like, I mean, they're just like the monkeys. They only see the trapping of the life, and only seeing the trappings. What they do is they end up glorifying the wrong part. Like when I'm trying to talk with young people, it's like they don't understand the grind. They don't understand the real hustle. You know what I'm saying? That goes into trying to be successful at anything. You know what I'm saying? That when Charlotte so lovely, she said, I don't like people talking about their natural talent. Because I honestly believe that we kind of rob ourselves when we just talk about natural talent. Because I'm kind of thinking that the monkey may have not been arrogant, but the monkey might, I'm good at climbing trees. You know what I'm saying? I'm good at chilling all day. You know what I'm saying? So I should be good at throwing the net. You know what I'm saying? It's just the net. You know what I'm saying? So maybe it wasn't arrogance, but maybe it was a false sense of confidence. Maybe the monkey had high self-esteem and low self-esteem.
I want to respond to your question. You said, are we disillusioned about the situations in our community? And this is what I feel. I feel as though we look at the problems and they are mountains instead of molehills. Well, they're mountains, but we are so overwhelmed with thinking that the solution is out of reach that we don't even try. We feel like our communities are so in despair, they're so torn that we don't even know where to start. So for me, it's not looking as if we could go in and fix it easily. It's looking as if it's so bad that there's nothing that we can do. The solution is so far off, and what I wanted to just say about that very quickly is just that we start where we are, and I believe that if we start with empowerment, if we make if we find a way, like I'm so down with this another wave of Black and Proud movement. You know, I've been pushing. Like, we need another Black and Proud movement, because I'm convinced that if our youth were proud and had more pride in themselves, they would have more pride in their communities, and they would have more pride in people who look like them, and they wouldn't be so quick to harm them. But I feel like that's what's missing now. So if I'm the monkey with the net thinking it's that easy, I feel like the monkey with the net thinking it's that easy. That's my solution. If we can just instill a sense of pride. Whitney Houston sung about it, and I think about her all the time when I think about this. But she said it best in her song. You know,
well, actually, when her song, that was a remake.
Okay, well,
huh?
What song?
I believe Children of the Future. From the song from the grave.
That's George Benson.
That was George Benson, was it?
Don't play with me, Hatim. That's George Benson.
I didn't know that was George Benson. I'm serious.
Now you know.
Wow. I believe the children of the future.
End the show.
Hey, that's a dope song. And, you know, because for me, like, for example, being a monkey in the tree, you know what I'm saying? Being too lazy to go down and get the net, because I want to see what's going on, because I'm trying to get the free fish. Now I got to wonder, am I looking at the problem too narrowly? Because we got so many different definitions for some of the stuff that's going on around us. You know what I'm saying? We got white supremacy, hegemony, as you like to say, Ms. Dark is so lovely. We got black on black crime. We got, I mean, it's like, and actually, I'm wondering, do I need to broaden my view of what's going on just a little bit more? You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's what's getting in the way of the freedom that I'm truly seeking. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna stick to I'm trying to get my apartment complex for all those that's listening. So, you know, buy a book, buy a cup, buy whatever. I'm trying to buy. I need about $5 million. I'm buying an apartment complex. That's right, 100 to 200 units. I want to buy an apartment complex. All right. So so next with the story, because this monkey is always in trouble. The monkey is always in trouble. He's always in somebody else's business. Maybe the lesson in the story might be about the monkey minding his own damn business and being a monkey. The monkey trying to be a man, when the monkey might just need to be happy being a monkey. I mean, really, because in a lot of his stories, you have animals trying to act like what they're not.
Hey, Hatim.
Like, what's up?
Something just came to my mind. You remember 50 Cent had the album Get Rich or Die Trying? I'm thinking about at least he did come out the tree and try. And he died trying. I ain't mad at him. I'm upset that he didn't. You know, we got to question the fact that he, you know, thought something. He didn't have the big picture. He couldn't see the big picture. You know, he seen something and false sense of what you call it. No, the monkey. I'm just saying, how many of us watch and we won't try? We won't step out of our comfort zone. You know, and that's the thing. Like this is my thing. I'd rather do something than do nothing at all, right?
Oh, but I got a question for you. What about the baby monkeys? What about his wife monkey or his husband monkey that he left in the tree?
You know what?
What about the family of monkeys that was up there? If he would have just stayed in the tree.
The
Now it's a fatherless monkey running around in the monkey land.
The autobiography of I read the autobiography of Nelson Mandela last year with with a group of students. And one thing that was key and that stuck out to me was that he wrote about how he knew when he started on his quest that he was going to be sacrificing time with the loved ones, the people that he knew, his family, his children, for those that he would never lay eyes on in his life. And this is the what he took it up. This is what he took up. He knew this. He knew this to be an option. A lot of us, we don't want to sacrifice.
Well, hey, let me say this. I think what he did is he eliminated options. I think for me, I think that many of us have so many options that we are frozen and stuck where we are. You understand what I'm saying? I'm thinking we got too many options in this day and time. Nelson Mandela in that day and time didn't have a lot of options.
But some of us,
he was doing better than everybody else, but he didn't have a lot of options because these white people in this country. Go ahead.
When we step up and
we have more. We have the illusion that we have more choices than we really have. And I think that hurts us in a lot of ways. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
Hi, Hatim.
Who is that?
Hello, Hatim.
Hello? Oh, what's that? Is that Sister Jill?
Hello, Hatim. I got some people that
want to say
hi to you.
Hey, who is it?
Hey, Hatim. Well, maybe if I say hi, OJ, how you doing?
Oh God, somebody saying my secret name. That's somebody related to me. Oh God.
She said somebody what?
Somebody related to me. Just I'm in the game.
I love you, son.
Is that my mother?
And your auntie.
Oh my God. Oh man. I can't even tell from my own damn self. Oh man. Wow. So my mom and my aunt well, happy birthday, Mom. First off, yesterday was her birthday, and it was an all-pay week, so I'm gonna get her after. Well, actually, I want a couple of hundred people to buy some books before I go and buy her a gift. So I'm holding my mama's gift a hostage until I sell 100 books. So that means, Mom, you will get your present in 2022 at the rate of sales that I'm doing right now. But no, actually, honestly,
I don't know what you're saying. I can hardly understand you.
Oh God.
Oh wow.
Oh.
Oh God. I'm about to hang up on you old ladies. Y'all can't be getting on here jumping my baby name. Oh my God.
You want to use that name? Hang up on it, man.
Bye. Bye, okay.
Bye. Oh, y'all drinking. Okay. All right.
This is Tammy.
This Tammy. How you doing, Miss Tammy?
Hey, okay.
Lord have mercy.
Hey,
at least they tuned in.
I didn't hear a thing. I did not hear a thing.
Thank you, Tammy. Thank you. All this will do. You will forget all this when you wake up in the morning. All right. So, Miss Douglas, bye. Bye, Mom. All right. I love you too. Well, hey, people listening, hey. I'm on my way. All right, so, actually, we're on our way. Hey, so, Ms. Dr. Lovely, you was making a point before I interrupted and before we had people step up on the call. I know that's your phone. Now, that's your phone. I'm just letting you know. And I keep on telling you, get some headphones.
What's wrong with my phone?
Oh, God.
Sounds like breaking in and out, so like I can barely hear everybody.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you.
That's better.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what I was doing. I was on Facebook, so when I'm touching my screen, y'all can hear that. I apologize.
Well, damn!
That was you.
All right, go ahead. Finish your statement.
No, I was just saying that still in today's day and age, when we choose to speak up against injustice, when we choose to advocate for those who cannot advocate for ourselves, many times we are still sacrificing ourselves, and putting our loved ones at risk. It may be that you lose a job. I worked a job and I had a coworker who was very much overweight. And I didn't like that they kept giving her hard tasks, the tasks that required her to be on her feet all night. So I would switch her positions, and I never will forget the backlash I received from that. I knew that my boss was being funny. He was being rude. And so I would trade her spots, right? And then I ended up getting in trouble. I ended up getting in some trouble at work, and part of it was because I was speaking out for people. It had nothing to do with me. And at the end of the day, if I would have lost my job, that would have been my kids' food. And I kind of knew that when I spoke up and I wrote the grievance. I put this in writing because I was very much disturbed by some of the things that my supervisor would say and do in regards to this coworker who was very much overweight. And I ended up putting it in writing. And afterwards, there was backlash. But I knew that. I knew that was an option. You know what I mean? And had it came down that I would have lost my job, like I said, that would have been something that me and my children would have had to deal with. So when you are an advocate, when you pride yourself on speaking out against, and I'm trying to mute my tongue a little more. I'm trying to pick my battles a little more wisely.
And that's the thing. That's the piece that I'm trying to get to you. Picking the battles, because you can still be slick with your tongue, but it's picking the battles that I'm trying to work with you on in our arena, because we have to pick our battles, because it's not just our kids that's going to be hungry when we lose, if we are in a situation where we lose our jobs. It's the kids that we can reach. You understand what I'm saying? So we got to be covert about what we do. Now, as far as the struggle, one of the things that's missing is that people are not really taking the fact that, actually, like I said, we got a lot of options. And we honestly think that since we're in modern times, we can actually have our cake and eat it too. It don't happen like that. You can't have your cake and eat it too. So we honestly feel that some of us, we could push for freedom, but there's no consequences with that. Frederick Douglass talked about the mindset our people in 200 years ago. You know what I'm saying? About wanting crops without plowing fields, wanting rain without the thunder, wanting the sea without the waves. That's sort of how we want. So if you don't get off Facebook, you done told us what it is, and you won't get back on it. So the point I'm trying to make is, you know what I'm saying? It's very few people that's really willing to sacrifice in the way necessary for us to get to where we're going, because we got a whole bunch of options. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, at least it ain't as bad as it used to be. I ain't in chains. I guess I could just stay in this tree. I can stay in this tree. It's cool. I ain't try with that. Huh?
I have something I needed to get off my chest. Because it was something.
We're going to get off your chest.
All right. So, one of my biggest issues right now in this day of age is the fact that everybody keep on saying that, like, we need to get our rights, we need to do this, like, we need to prepare, but they ain't telling us how. Luckily, I've kind of, like, just, come up with a sort of, scenario where we can actually, like, prepare. Like, I say, like, kind of have a group of people who, like, probably don't want to fight, provide food and water. A group of people who also don't want to fight, like, within that group, be architectural as well. The people who do want to fight, we train them. We send them out there. The people who are actually, like, strategically, inept, we also, like, send them out there as well to lead. Because, like, basically, like, we've always been given the tools. I mean, the tools is, like, literally right here. We live in a system of which is basically going off of our system, but it's being used in a demonic way. It's always been that way, but the thing is, like, it's... How do I put it? It's, like, so secluded and so hidden that it's just, like, why is it that they can actually, like, run this system well and we can't do the same thing for ourselves? Why is it that Mr. Bill can, like, basically run a garden, but Mr. Jaquan can't do the same thing? Why is it that Mr. David is over here, like, actually, like, looking for ways to buy apartments, buy houses, and, like, rent out to other people? But Mr. Darius, he wants to sit around, like, watching Jerry Springer.
Hey, man, I got that last analogy. And it ain't Jerry Springer that I'm watching. It's Sergeant Wilco, for your information, young man. Just joking. What is that? Is it raining?
Where?
Is it raining?
No, it's not raining.
All right.
I was just outside. It's not raining.
Oh.
I was you with Quinn. I hear what the young man is saying, and I get it. I feel his frustration. Again, I feel like we're so overwhelmed with thinking it's going to take so much that we can't even start where we're at with the very basics. And so my thing to him is, it's time for us to get back to the basics. And like I said, some things. What's the basics? Okay, so we have to get back to teaching our children things around agricultural. We have to get back to teaching our children things related to astrology. We have to get back to teaching our children how to deal with the opposite sex. We have to get back with teaching our children. Let me see. I got fitness and what it means to be healthy, spirituality. We have to teach these things to our children. So actually, I sit and I think about these basics, and I actually have a list and like a little blueprint I drew up for things that we should be going into the rec centers teaching our kids. They're always looking for someone to come into the rec center and start a program. And a lot of times they have the kids, they just don't have the programming. So
but when you bring a certain type of program, our people have been programmed to naturally move away from that. Dr. Amos Wilson said that the height of oppression is when the oppressed people start moving away from the very things that will save them. And you can see that happening within our people. I mean, because like one of the issues is that we keep on going into enemy territory trying to train our children. When if we're going to do some serious training, we have to start establishing some territory of our own.
Hey, let's go here. Let's go here because this is going to be my big gripe, right? We're always which one is harder? Which one takes less time? I'd rather go where they're at. We keep talking about, for example, I get so many people in my feed. We need our own schools. How about we already got schools that are 99% African American and 99% white staff? How about we already had schools where the kids are at, that if you went and got the training, if you went and got the education to teach, you could go into those schools right now, wherever those schools are. So I get that, yeah, we need to establish our own entities, but at the same time, there are already things that are established in our communities, places where we live, where we can go in and the kids are already there. We don't have to do any shared networking. We don't have to find the kids, find a location. We don't have to do any of that. We can go in
now.
And it's
hold on.
Question.
Go ahead.
Straight question.
Go ahead.
And this for everybody.
Go ahead.
What is the one thing that you notice that this society runs off today? What is the one thing you notice that the society runs off today?
Gas.
Operators as far as media, music.
No, I mean they're all related in some way, but there is one thing that keeps people chained in that basically makes the society work the way that it is.
What are you saying? Socialization? TV
no,
programming?
I'm not saying socialization.
What is it?
Pleasure. It's pleasure. How does churches keep on having black people get that chicken? Pleasure. How is it that we're still watching reality TV shows like The Real Housewives of Atlanta? Pleasure. How is it that we keep on let me see. What's a perfect example? How is it that we keep on living our everyday lives and making sure we work this job, but at the end of the day we still get paid, so in that way we can come back on Monday? Pleasure. You get the pleasure of getting paid. You get the pleasure of being entertained. You get the pleasure of having good food.
I like it, but I want to say this in response to something Hatim said a minute ago. One thing we know about young adolescents, young people, are that they're impressionable, which is why I chose the age group that I work with, because I know that at this age they're most impressionable. And I had to.
And what's the age group?
Young at the middle grades. The middle grade.
Okay. 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. When they're transitioning from being concrete thinkers to abstract thinkers, they're the most impressionable. So one thing I know is that if you are gifted in psychology, you can convince them that everything they thought was boring, they thought was stupid, they thought was hopeless, that just wasn't fun. You can convince them and find a way to get them interested. We have to go out the way and do that. Yeah, originally when they come and they see that you're teaching them how to plant tomatoes, they may not see the point in that. But it's all about how you present that and wrap that package that will get them hooked. So hold on. So in order to move people towards liberation, in order to get them interested, like the monkey in the tree, you basically have to turn into an entertainer.
Somewhat. We're talking about impressionable.
All right, now hold on. Let me say this to you.
I'm not going out trying to convince adults. I'm not trying to convince the parents. This is about planting the seed for the future. Right? This is about planting the seed for the future.
I dig that. But now, when you plant seeds, hold on. When you plant seeds, you need a land, you need area to plant those seeds. Right? I mean, that's the only piece. We talk about nation builders. We got people talking about their nation builders, but we don't have shit. You know,
okay,
I got sisters running around saying they queens. I got brothers talking about they kings, and then we even go to the God state, and these niggas don't own shit.
Let me say this.
Right.
And you're absolutely right. We do have to get ownership, but I don't.
Right.
Right.
If it ain't nothing but a clubhouse, we could build a treehouse.
Let me say this.
Let me have meetings in the treehouse. See, because the point is, one of the things that I'm seeing is our children Our children are not taking what we're doing serious because they don't see what other adults have. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
When they go to the store, they don't see you. When they go, when they play video games, they don't see you. When they talk about the people that's really making money in the music industry, they don't see you.
Okay, so we are in the midst of gentrification here in Columbus, and I'm sure that Chicago is experiencing this on some realm as well.
You have no idea.
With regards, so this is the prime time to purchase. This is but before we can't put the buggy before the horse, right? One thing that we can do that we have right now in my community out here where I live at, this is my community. I have one white family that lives out here that I see, probably two. The rest of everybody out here is black. So whether we own these townhomes or we're renting them, at the end of the day, this is our community. We're the ones who live here. Whether we own it or not, you have a valid point. Don't get me wrong. And that is something that we should work towards, is ownership. But first, before we get to owning, one thing we have to increase the worth of our neighborhood. We have to show some pride. We have to clean.
Why should I be urged to increase the price of the neighborhood when I don't? When the proceeds from my work to make it more expensive don't come back to me.
This is where I live. When I say work to increase the value, what I'm not talking about monetary. I'm not only talking about monetary. I'm talking about the value of our community, the sense of pride that we have. I hate when I
stop. You keep on saying putting the cart before the horse, but listen. As African people, as people of the land, we have always had a special connection with the land. This is why Europeans come in, they conquer the land, and along with killing the land, they kill the spiritual beliefs of the people who hold that land, right? Because it's the connection with the land, that makes it possible for us to create culture. Now, what you're saying is we need to have a nomadic culture. When some of us might come from a nomadic tribe, some of us live like that. But you know what I'm saying? The majority of us don't come from nomadic tribes where we could just be wandering around. We need to establish ourselves. I ain't saying you got to go out and buy
okay, so watch this.
Hold on, time out. I'm not saying you got to go out and buy a $300,000 house. I'm saying a group of black people come together, and you don't remember buy a plot of land that you can take your kids to and say, look, this is our piece, and we're going to grow it, so that our kids can start taking us seriously, man. All this talk about history, all this talk about the psychology, all this talk about the education system, all this talk, and we are not producing. We sit up here, we tell our children that we have $1 trillion economy as black people, but yet we own nothing.
So we're preoccupied with all. We're preoccupied with all things that don't matter. And why are we preoccupied with all things that don't matter? Because we've been socialized. To be
we're the monkey in the tree.
So, but let me say this.
Actually, we're the monkey out the tree with the net.
I'm sorry?
I said we're the monkey out the tree with the net. But go ahead.
Okay, this is what I was going to say. In a lot of these neighborhoods where the whites are going to be returning and buying up the property, we're already there. Some of us have already lived in these communities for years. My grandmother lives in the Linden area. She lived in that Linden area for over 20 years. Now, the reason why she won't buy her property, the reason why she sees no reason to invest in her property is because people are constantly breaking into her shed, because people are constantly breaking into her home, because there's drive-bys all the time on the street. If those things weren't happening, my grandmother would be convinced. My grandmother would feel some reason to purchase the property in the neighborhood where she's pledged allegiance for over 20 years. So, and this is what happened. This is why the houses are vacant, because they have chased out the people who have lived there.
Who chased them out? Time out. Who chased them out?
I'm going to tell you who chased them out. We talked about it last night on another show. We talked about the devastation that has occurred in our community by way of this Stop Snitching campaign. When we started buying into this Stop Snitching campaign and we stopped policing our neighborhoods and we started only minding our own business, that's when we took the unity out of the community. That's why we no longer have community, because there's no unity. So one of the things that chased our people out, one of the things that led to degradation of our community was the Stop Snitching campaign. We've been processed to believe that everything is snitching. So if my neighbor is being robbed and I call the police, I'm a snitch, and that's a lie. But our people have been socialized to believe that.
Time out.
Then we break out of the programming right there. I mean, it's real. Let me put it this way. If I tell you that, if I give you like $1 and tell you that it's actually worth $10, but it's only $1, but I tell you that it's worth $10, of course you're probably going to believe that it's worth $10 because I actually told you that it was worth $10, even though it says $1 on there. Basically, what I'm saying is that it obviously says $1, but I told you it was 10. Someone else is going to tell you that it means $1. So what do you do then? Do you fight against them, or do you actually basically, open your eyes and see that, oh my God, it was $1?
Okay, so eventually what happens is you open your eyes and you see that it was $1. You might go try and spend that $1. Something might happen where okay, so a lot of times we have people that abide by a lot of these sanctions in their community until it happens to them, until it's their turn.
Right. That's when people. Now hold on. That's when people get involved, right? Mm-hmm. Now, this is the first thing I want to say, because we've been on this for about an hour and 5 minutes. Now, I'm like, y'all going to continue the conversation or what? Because, it's hot. Because we didn't jump all the way from the monkey in the tree, to the monkeys in the hood. Excuse me.
Basically, what I was trying to say was basically we lost the unity, but that doesn't mean that we cannot bring it back.
Yeah, see, and the piece that I'm saying is we have to establish a relationship with the land. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
Do we need to establish a relationship with the people first? Do we need to establish a relationship with the people first? This is the point I'm trying to make.
If I make a relationship with the land, I just can't go into a neighborhood as a stranger. You understand what I'm saying? Unless I got money to buy them out. Because the very same neighborhood that you talking about drive-bys is going on, I bet you the area of the drive-bys right now are getting smaller and smaller. Because the white folks is moving up in there, and they're not allowing that shit.
No, it's not yet. Because the gentrification, the area that I'm talking about, the gentrification has not taken place yet. The houses,
if you talking about the Linden
area, Old Town East,
the areas in this area.
If you talking about the Linden area, we know it's coming, because you see more and more of the others there, and you see that they're going, for those people that are not in Columbus, on Cleveland Avenue in the Linden area. They're tearing down all the old vacant buildings and building new buildings.
Because gentrification is they're getting ready for it. That's why they built independently. They didn't build.
That's what I'm saying. And the area of foolishness the area of foolishness is shrinking, and it's only in our areas. Now, it's only I ain't call them neighborhoods. It's only in our areas, right? So the point that I'm saying is, one, see, because like right now you can probably go to Lindsay and get a nice cheap house. What if it was just to go and get a clubhouse? A place where we meet once a week. We don't even put nothing valuable in there until we're able to start changing some of the minds of some of the people in those neighborhoods. We have to start really investing in ourselves.
Exactly.
And one of the things that we have to understand is that one thing we can't divorce ourselves away from is that we always going to need warriors. Male and female.
Guess what else?
Male and female. So, because this is one of the issues that I'm going to say, and I'm done. Because one of the things I'm noticing in school, because I noticed that the generations, because Jenna said this maybe 2 shows ago, how the generation gap is getting smaller and smaller. And in the generations, I have noticed, because in my house, in a period of 5 years, I have noticed that the boys, the young men, changed. When I first started doing foster care, it was a whole different type of boy. It wasn't necessarily just they was just faking or these boys were serious. Then the next generation was just a little bit softer.
Yep.
And then the next generation was all the way faking.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? And I'm seeing this in a series of 5 years where like for example in school, the one thing that I noticed is that a lot of my kids are acting up because they can.
Right.
Rather than, because it's crazy. So you see this, and now all I'm saying is what would happen if real men were to start coming into those neighborhoods?
I agree. And they have a program here called I want to call it Partners for Peace.
Now hold on, I'm gonna say this. All right, who sponsored the program? Is it a sponsored program?
I'm gonna have to let y'all go.
All right. Good night. And you better finish your schoolwork, boy. Because I know you're behind. I'm not laughing. You understand me?
Yep.
All right. Peace. That's one of those warriors. Hey, but go ahead, finish.
One thing that I was going to just add about establishing relationships with the people. One thing that I noticed when I go into these schools is that they have not established any type of parent.
Go back to the peacekeepers. Hold on. Before you say that point, tell me about these peacekeepers. And is it a funded group?
Say it one more time.
Is it a funded group? Is it funded by something outside of us?
No. Okay, this is a national group. I may be saying I always want to call them Partners for Peace, but I know that I got this wrong. The gentleman started it actually was from Columbus, but we don't have a Columbus chapter. So he ended up moving to like New York or somewhere, and he has it established there and established in other big cities as well. This is something that was started by a gentleman here, and basically
where do they get their money from?
Where does he get his funding from?
For this program to run, where does the funding come from?
Okay, so I don't know where the funding comes from, but I do know this: that the people who participate, the men who participate, they get like a little stipend. They get a check from this organization, and their key objective is to police the neighborhood. They put on shirts that look like uniforms because they're all dressed alike, and they police the neighborhood. And I just network to get something like this established in Columbus, a chapter in Columbus where we could go out and we could have men who would, again, wear uniforms, the same shirt technically, and they will go into their neighborhoods and be vigilant and be present, to show their presence.
Now, this is my point. If they are receiving funding, right, outside of the community, is it still a community project?
Yeah, it is a community project because the people who operate it, the only way you can get it started in your community is to have people in your community volunteer to be a part of it, to sign up.
But it's not volunteering if you're receiving a stipend.
Exactly.
It's not volunteering if you're receiving a stipend.
Exactly.
See, this is the point I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. The problems we're having in our community can't be solved by people outside of us funding what we do.
This is a black man from Columbus who actually started this, and the site.
You know the dude who murdered Malcolm X. You know the dude that was part of Malcolm X's assassination was black too. Right?
Let me say this. When I was on my show, people were calling from different places, and they were familiar with this. We have something similar here. We just don't have the actual chapter. So we have some men who are doing this here. The stipend that I'm referring to, sir, it is like $25.
Don't matter.
Yeah, it's nothing. It's not anything major. But I mean, I don't know. It's like 20. It was something very basic. And I think that was more to attract young people to participate as well. Because one of the individuals that I know personally who does it, he was very young when he became active with this movement. But I was going to say this. When I talk about establishing relationships with the people are already in the neighborhood. What we're lacking is the programming, someone going into the neighborhood, setting up workshops, someone going into the neighborhood, teaching a class on home ownership, teaching a class on what it takes to own a home, right? Getting people to come out and find out that, hey, you're actually eligible to buy that property. That property that you live in, that you pay all that rent for, is only $20,000. It's only $20,000. But people, we have to educate the people and empower them.
Right. Now, yeah, but I hear you. I'm throwing up the white flag of surrender because it's 11:15. I'm old, and I'm thinking about trying to run 3 miles before I go to the office tomorrow morning. I'm still wondering whether I'm going to do that. You know what I'm saying? But bringing it back to the monkey in the tree, some of the key points that I want to talk about or that I want to mention is that it was brought up about the narrow focus. That was a jewel. Thank you, Sister Janice, for that one. And also Ms. Darkin so lovely, bringing up the personal experience, because really that's what it's about. It's about us working on our individual selves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna still buy community. I that's just me, because I believe that what we got right now just ain't working. We need something where people can actually feel ownership, and it. You know what I'm saying? They already got these apartment buildings built. I might as well go and buy one and just start building the community one person at a time. You know what I'm saying? Because back to the monkey. You know what I'm saying? So we need to watch who we mimic. We need to watch who we follow. We need to look at the skills. We need to take a broader look at when we're trying to pick up new skills. You know what I'm saying? So that we don't get doped into food into believing that it's just easy. So that we don't get caught up in our own arrogance. You know what I'm saying? Because we think that sometimes we can just jump down and do some things, when in fact it takes a lot of work to do some of the stuff that people are doing. Like we got 2 teachers sitting here, because it takes a special type of person to sit down and to be in that classroom. Not only do you have to have the management skills, on a professional level. You got to be able to work with some of the most unprofessional individuals in the world. You know what I'm saying? And get them to a certain point. So I salute both of y'all on that piece. And with that, either one of y'all got any last words?
You good? I'm good.
I got something to say. For those people who cannot afford, whatever. For those people who cannot afford to go buy, who don't have the resources to go purchase an apartment building, or are not yet ready to purchase property, I ask that you do something. I ask that you start where you're at. I ask that you develop a relationship with the people in your neighborhood so that y'all can work to put the unity back in the community.
All right. I've been trying to put the unity back in the community since 1989. Hey, I just say it. I mean, since 1989, and I'm like, it's almost like I'm just personally, I'm coming from a heart hustle. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I got $50 on the $5 million that I need. But I honestly believe, and I have seen this in my own personal life. When you hustle from the heart, that's my new thing. Heart hustling. When you hustle from the heart, and people feel what you're doing, they will support. You know what I'm saying? Because my piece is, I'm going out and get it. And we still don't mean that I'm going to stop building where I am. That don't mean I'm going to stop doing stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean I'm going to stop working with the people that I'm working with. No, what that means is that now, after all these years, I have finally come to the conclusion that I am not just I'm a little bit smaller than a nation builder. I'm a community builder. You know what I'm saying? I build men. You know what I'm saying? I build young men and young women. You know what I'm saying? Now I got to develop the place where they could grow safely.
And let me say this, Hatem, in support of what you're saying. I don't know if I've ever said it before, but working as many years as I've worked in a city like Detroit, when people talk to me about starting schools, one of the first things I say is, listen, I'll be a part of, this is going to sound horrible in the face of what we've been talking about, but it's the truth. I'll be a part of starting a school if the school is a boarding school. And then people say, well, Janice, why does it have to be a boarding school? And I always respond this way. When you're talking about children pre-kindergarten through 12th grade, if you really want to impact them,
that's right.
You really want to change the trajectory of where they are headed based on the quote-unquote communities they're coming from, you have to remove them physically from that madness and place them in an environment where all that you're going to teach them can really take root.
That's right.
Environments, they require love, they require consistency, they require a good diet and healthy exercise, all the things that are absolutely absent in Black communities all over the city of Detroit. We don't have no rec centers.
That's all over the world.
Has been hijacked. And so all that trailer that you all are watching in Columbus, the movie done already played out here. And the whole notion of community has to be restructured, and it will require what you're doing, Hatem. There's got to be physical places and structures that are ours, OURS, where we can do what we need to do with those who need it done.
So, we bring in folk tales to grown folks. Like I said, these folk tales ain't just for kids.
That's right.
Man, Aesop knew what he was doing when he encoded this stuff.
Yep.
Then did some wisdom mining. And once again, Sister Janice dropped it. Ms. Dawkins O'Leary, she dropped it. Mr. Avery X Prophet dropped it. And now I'm about to say good night. I want to thank y'all for joining me. I'll be doing this again tomorrow. This one will be tribal quotes. We got some good quotes. So with that, I'm saying peace.
All right, good night.
Bye-bye.
Peace.